tell you what. That's why I hunt out of these mobile setups, because you know, I'm just a regular blue-collar guy. It's not in my budget to, you know, own 25 permanent stands and hang them. That's a giant track. Man, there's some big deer running around here. I'll have to check this camera here. Hang on a second, guys. And this is tore up in here. I mean, there's trails through here. Like, this is destroyed here. There's so much sign in this little swamp between the woods and that bean field. I'm willing to bet it's all nighttime. I checked the camera out on the edge of the bean field, and I got a couple really good bucks, but it's all in the middle of the night, so I'm not too excited about that. But my plan is to get deep in here and see what damage I can do tonight. So I'm gonna try and be as quiet as I can. I'm getting in pretty close. So I just got my stand, and there's a buck and a doe. I can't tell what he is, running back and forth, grunting so loud. I got up into the tree and they were still grunting. They're at about, I want to say probably 60, 80 yards. I can't really see them. I'm gonna hit the grunt call. Well, I don't know if I spooked them or if they got a whiff of me or what, but I mean, I don't think they did, because last time I heard that buck, he was running and grunting just over here, like maybe 70 yards. And my wind has been pretty consistently blowing straight out of the south. It's warm today too. It's like 55 degrees. But ever since I got in the stand, it's been awfully quiet. I'm eating peanuts, by the way. There's a ton of deer sign coming in here. So and there was at least 2 bucks in here running around grunting. And one of them's that big 10-pointer or 11-pointer or whatever that was I got on camera last night. I don't know if you guys can hear. There's a ton of blue jays over there. And I just saw a deer flick its tail. So there's definitely deer over here, and these blue jays are harassing it. So, now that everything's kind of calmed down, I'll tell you what happened. I snuck in here. I got to the base of my tree, and as I started climbing up, I could hear a buck chasing a doe grunting, just to the west of me, about 100 yards. Excuse me. And that deer ran and chased a doe, I assume, all the way up to the north and kind of circled around, and I could hear it grunting up here. that's the way my wind's kind of blowing. So that's not too good, but I don't think they got my wind, because next thing I know, they were running back through here, grunting, chasing. And I heard another buck back behind me to the south grunting too. So there were several deer in here. I climbed into the stand as quiet as I could. And about 10 minutes later, I heard a bunch of blue jays harassing something on the hillside. And I could just make out the rear end of a deer. I could see its tail flicker as it was walking up the side of the hill. It's so thick in here, I can't see very far off into the woods. I can see a lot behind me into this swamp, but not to the west of me. If these deer come through here, if a buck comes through here chasing a doe, it's going to be quick, boom. I'm not going to have much time to do anything. He'll be right on top of me. Out here is a big bean field, and then the swamp is the same one that runs north and south on this property. I'm on the property where I was getting pictures of Frank, by the way. I've hunted here a few times. And I'm at the very north end of the farm right now. There's a really low area that comes in through here, way up into the woods, and that's all like standing water, very thick, gnarly. I can't see very far. But past that is a big ridge, and that's where those deer were running around, grunting and whatnot. And then what I'm on here is a little bit of dry ground that serves as like a travel corridor. There's a really good trail that runs from here all the way down through and then pops out right underneath me here. And in the past, I've gotten a ton of deer, especially this time of year, using this trail, cruising, chasing does, whatever. And walking in here, there was a ton of sign. There's so many deer tracks, and these trails through this swamp are beat down. So I have no doubt that I'm in the right spot. I just need one of these deer to get up on their feet and walk by me today. Well, the deer are really moving right now. I wish I had a better camera. I mean, I can see a really long ways from this stand. I've seen 4 bucks in the last 10 minutes, just out cruising, like randomly across. I've seen 2 bucks go across this big bean field behind me. I had a smaller buck in the brush cruise by right here, and then another buck I saw right out here, maybe 150 yards in the swamp. I just got a glimpse of it. It wasn't a very big deer either. Time to stay villaging. Whoa, that was a crazy night. It is almost 9 o'clock, and I'm just now getting back to my truck. Literally, as soon as it got dark out, there was like deer everywhere. I had to have seen maybe 10 or 12 different deer. And the thing about that stand is once you're back there, you're kind of stuck if there's a bunch of deer out in the field, because that's my only way back to the truck, with property lines and everything. And it's like I said, as soon as it got dark, I was just glassing. I could still make it out with binoculars. There were 3 or 4 bucks. They all came up out of the swamp from the north and the south, and they kind of met up just to the east of me, maybe 200 yards, right on the edge of that bean field. And I could hear them fighting. I could hear, or sparring at least. And then I heard them walk off into the beans. And then one of them came back and walked right underneath my stand. It was a smaller buck. And then I ended up climbing down slow and just really taking my time getting across that swamp. I got all the way out to the bean field. And then with this moon, you can see pretty well, especially with binoculars. So I ended up glassing the bean field, and boom, spotted them. There was like 3 or 4 deer out in the field. So I ended up just pretty much sitting there and waiting for them to leave. So they ended up going up over the hill and kind of disappeared. and I gave it about 10 minutes, and then I just briskly walked down the edge of that bean field and cut up to the tractor path and straight to my truck. So I don't think I busted anything, which would be pretty cool, because one of those bucks in that group I'm pretty sure was a big deer. It's kind of hard to say how big or which deer it was even. It was pretty far away and pretty dark, but pretty cool night. Wish I could have got a little more footage for you guys. Obviously that would have been ideal, but needless to say, that was pretty cool. I kind of know what I want to do in the next few days here. I'm going to put together a game plan, look at some maps, but I got to stand on the back side of this swamp with a northeast wind. I think would work out really well for a morning stand, maybe tomorrow, and then I might just sit on the edge of that bean field tomorrow night. I got the hiccups for some reason. Probably those peanuts I was eating. I'm gonna get this truck rolling down the road and get home and eat some dinner. My girlfriend is cooking tacos, I'm pretty sure. So we'll catch y'all later.